Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning in for another quick channel C.G.E video. Today I'm back with the PT Cruiser GT. Going to be doing a whole lot of stuff that I don't really want to do, but needs to be done. The timing belt, tensioners, water pump, and complete coolant flush. We're going to be getting done hopefully all in one day, but you're going to see it in like a lot less than a day. So here we are. I got it in the barn here. The S10's pulled outside with tarps over it. If you haven't seen the video of that, it should be out by now of us pulling the motor. Be sure to go check that out. Anyways, first things first, I guess today is we're going to be draining the coolant. There is like a drain cock. I'll show you. There it is. There's the drain right there for the coolant. It's right up here. There's some like maybe AC lines or something there. When you're facing the front of the car, it's to the right of those lines. So that's what I need to do first, but definitely pulling it outside to do that. Alright guys, skip ahead a little while. I got the coolant drained out of it. Got that done. I actually pulled it outside to do that, and then I really quick started up and go back in here once it was all drained out. Should have thought ahead about that, but got this wheel off, jacked up and everything, and I also pulled the belt shroud here. That is beautifully zip tied up in there. Where to start? There's a whole lot of stuff I'm gonna have to pull apart for this job, one of which is a motor mount up here, which I just found out is actually not working. This was actually pulled over to the side. Well, here, I can pull it over. You can see the rubber's torn right out. I ordered a new one that'll be here. It's kind of a problem, but anyways, that motor mount's gonna come out. A whole bunch of stuff up here's gotta come out. This has gotta come off. I'm gonna get started on that, pulling stuff apart, and I'll check back in with you guys. Alright, so checking back in, got the harmonic balancer off. Here it is. That was a little bit of a job. Definitely have to use a puller. Thanks to Bry for the use of his puller, by the way. He's over there someplace working. Anyways, got that off. This is the timing cover here. It's actually plastic. But yeah, that's just part of the job. So another thing we need to do is pull this little bolt right here, supposedly, which is a big star head. Or whatever. What is it? Torx. Gotta pull that. But before I do that, I need to put a jack under the motor. Maybe put a block of wood and then put it right on the oil pan. Raise up a little, pull that out, and then pull this motor mount apart. So I guess that's what's next. Alright guys, back actually the next day. I didn't get as much done yesterday as I was hoping, but got some done. The reason I stopped kind of early yesterday was because I really need to get a new jack. I've been stealing Bry's jack all this time, so like 25 years old, and he was using it yesterday to do stuff on the Cadillac, so I ended up buying one, and did I ever go all out? Holy crap, this thing is just huge. It's like 3 times the size of that other one that we were using. I think it's a 3-ton capacity. It's really awesome. Like, I went all out, I guess. So the next step is I'm gonna get a block of wood on here, and we are going to start jacking up on the oil pan. I'll raise the motor a little bit, and then we can remove this. This is a star head bolt, and then we're going to remove bolts on the upper motor mount. Alright, and this is a T55 Torx bit, or star head bit. I know Brian and I have debated back and forth what is the proper name for them. And there it is. Alright, just got all the bolts out. Here they are. Trying to be organized this time around. And here's my motor mount. This is a dead motor mount, as you can see. Yeah, that's not going back in there. So, definitely going to replace that. But anyways, that does need to be removed either way. So, there is this large metal plate that needs to be removed down in here in order to get the timing cover off. That's what we're going to work on next. Alright, well here's when things start getting messy. That metal plate right there needs to come off. That's a problem. In order to do that, these motor mount bolts have to come out, which is a pain. There are 1 or 2 bolts on the power steering pump here that also need to come out. There's a bolt down there. That's going to be a real pain to get to in there. And there's another one in here. And I wonder if there's one in that hole too. We'll figure it out. I'm going to start working on it by pulling those motor mount bolts down there first. And I'll check back in with you guys when something happens. Well, happy Columbus Day, everybody. So back on another day. Since I last checked in, did a few things that need to be done. I unbolted all the plastic just because I felt like it. Really just working on getting this shroud, or not shroud, this big bracket off. Probably going to be the hardest part of the job is just removing this bracket, and it's been a real pain. Got to keep jacking the motor up and down, trying to get it off, and it should be coming loose now. I got 2 bolts out here on the front, and then there's 2 bolts over on the power steering. I also unbolted them, and the thing is not budging at all. So we shall see. I'll check back in with you guys, but this is the hard part. There is another bolt that you got to access from the bottom that I just found. Nobody online mentioned that, so I'm gonna make note of. Some of these have a bolt you got to get from up underneath, so that's what I got to do next, and then hopefully this stupid thing finally come out of the car. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, back on yet another day. But anyway, so I got the metal plate loose, right? It won't come out. It like, there's no way for it to come out. Do a little research online on some forums, and I hear people saying that with the turbo, it's a little different than the NA. The motor won't come up high, just quite high enough. It lacks like about 1 inch for that plate to come out all by itself. So I'm going to try to pull the belt while the plate's still in there, and I think maybe once the belt's off, the plate will come up just enough that I can slide it out and get to the water pump and everything a little easier. After 3 days of on and off work, I finally got that piece of crap out of the way. This has been by far the most miserable job I have ever tackled as far as mechanics go. What did I do to finally get it out of the way? Well, for one thing, I had to remove this metal plate thing that was here, which is right there. Had to remove that to get it out, and the AC lines, which ended up not having any charge in them anyways because my air conditioning is completely fricked. Then it finally wiggled its little butt out of there. I got the belt off, by the way, I pulled the idler pulley because I couldn't really get to the tensioner pulley with that plate still there. So I just pulled the idler pulley, I unbolted it, and then the belt just came loose. It wasn't a big deal at all. Here's the old idler right there. We're going to be replacing that anyways. Also the water pump is right down there. Gotta get that off as well. And put the new ones on. Get a new belt in there, then we can put it all back together, and that's going to be even more fun. Actually, it could go a little bit smoother now that everything's come out. I kind of have an idea of what's going on. Hopefully it'll go a little smoother going together, but knock on wood, right? This is wood. Free and clear now as far as the plate goes. Now we can actually start working on stuff that we need to.
All the pain.
Alright guys, back again. The belt was a real pain to get on, but it's on now. Thanks to Bry's help. I didn't even think to film last night when he was here, but he was here for a while, and he got the belt on for me. So, he was able to figure it out. What we ended up doing is, hold on, let me get a different light or something here, because this is not happening. I want to steal Bry's light again, I don't know where it's at. Ah, here it is. What we did to get the belt on was basically had it halfway out, overlapping halfway. The belt was like out here on the pulleys, and then just barely able to pop it on to the idler. I had to do it like 3 or 4 times, which wasn't too bad, but had to do it like 3 or 4 times to get everything perfectly timed, or hopefully perfectly timed. Next thing in order is to put that in there, which I'm not looking forward to because it sucks. It's going to take some finagling, and hopefully it will go in there like it's supposed to. Thank God. So big thing went in fairly well, no, not easily, but it went in. You see, I kind of had to force it in there a little bit. Nobody has to know exactly, but let's just say I used this to get it in there a little bit. Here we are. I got 2 of the bolts in. We're almost good to go. We're making headway. We're almost done. I'm so excited. Anyways, that's where we're at now. It's going good. All right, I think we can actually start it for the first time in a week. So I just filled the radiator up with water. I got a bunch of distilled water, and I just filled it up. I'm going to flush it out, basically, but I filled it up with it for now. And I used a gallon and about that much of another gallon, so you can see. And I'm going to fire it up and see what happens. I'm super excited and then again very scared because I hope nothing is messed up because that job really sucked. Guys, listen to that. It runs. Oh my god. Alright guys, well finally, after a whole week of messing with this stupid thing, it's finally up and running again. I do have a few little odds and ends that I need to finish up, like the power steering pump. Still not hooked up, the belt is not hooked up, and it needs to be bolted into place. It's just basically laying in there now. I took it for a quick little spin up and down the road a few times. Yeah, I wouldn't do any more than that until I get it hooked up, but man, you don't realize how awesome power steering is until you go without it, because that was just, my arms are already sore just from going up and down the road and turning around once. I did get it warmed up enough to find out about that noise. If you don't already know about the noise I've been hearing lately, I'll put a link to the video where I talked more about it down in the description, but basically it was this really odd noise that I get when I'm at like a low idle, the car's all warmed up. And it was coming from like that left side of the engine bay, so I was hoping something like the water pump and doing all that would make the noise go away, but it didn't. I got it warmed up and it's still doing it exactly the same as it was before. So still got to investigate that, watch for more on that in the future. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick little channel CG video. Watch for many more in the future about this and whatever. The channel is really growing lately. I'm really excited and I love making videos. So be sure and go subscribe to see stuff whenever it comes out and watch for a new video, always on Sunday, and there's usually 2 a week at least. So be sure and go subscribe to see stuff whenever it comes out. And again guys, thanks for watching. You rock. God bless and have a good one. See you next time.
Back from the dead.